What's going on, YouTube? Chris here. I want to bring you all an update today of Bitcoin, and we're also going to go through some altcoins as well. And what I want to do is look at the Bitcoin and the altcoins on the 4-hour time frame. I want to give you a little bit more detail, and that's what we're going to get into today. So if you get some from these videos, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we'll dig into this. So number one for Bitcoin, we need to get past 23,800. There's a pretty decent sell wall at 23,800, so I want you to be aware of that. If we're able to break through that, it's going to be another blue sky breakout, and what I'd look up to is roughly around 24,000, then it'd be up to around that 25,000 in terms of the next areas where we may get a little bit of a pause, because remember, we don't have overhead resistance right now up above that $23,800. So we want to be aware of that. Main areas for support that we're going to want to stay up above here on the 4-hour time frame, we're going to look at $22,200 going to be the first area. Then it'd be down around that 19,710, and that's the most important area because that was the all-time high. So what we want to do here, that was resistance. We broke through it. We want to turn that to support. So we don't want to drop down through 19,710 in my opinion. If we did go lower than that, I'd look to that 200 moving average, which we've stayed up above basically on the 4-hour time frame all the way since, let's see, we have not dropped below it since October 6th. So we need to be aware of that 200 moving average. We want to stay up above that. We want this trend to continue moving to the upside. We can have little corrections, little consolidations, that's fine, but overall we want to continue that uptrend, staying up above that 200 moving average on the 4-hour time frame, and that's at 18,735. If we get into the technicals for Bitcoin right now, take a look here. We have a 4 sell, 6 neutral, and an 18 buy on the 1-day time frame. Oscillators 3 sell, 5 neutral, and a 3 buy. So very neutral in that area. So that's going to be Bitcoin there on the 4-hour time frame, guys. Next, we're going to go into Ethereum. Take a look at ETH. ETH is at $658. Made a really nice move there on the 4-hour time frame. We're still up above the 20, the 50, 100, and 200 moving average. That's what we're looking for there. In terms of overhead resistance, we need to get up above 674.61. That was the previous high that we did end up hitting, and that was, let's see, that was December 17th is when we hit that 673. So keep an eye out on that. If we can break through that, I believe we have a nice shot up to $700 and be up around that 719 or the next overhead resistance area. And you can see we had some heavy buying pressure come in to get us up through all these overhead resistance areas that we were dealing with. We were really struggling around that $600 to $628. So it's nice to be back up above that, and we want to continue to hold that as support. If we take a look at the RSI on the 4-hour time frame, we'll just leave this up for us. Let's see here. On the 4-hour, we are at 66.08 right now. So we still have plenty of room to go up and challenge that $700. It's just going to take the buying pressure, and it's still early today. So I want you to be aware of that, but we need to get those big, heavy swells of buying pressure to get up through that 600, and we'll call it 78, I'm sorry, 673.88 is what we will call it. And that's going to take a lot of buying pressure. If we get into the technicals for Ethereum, we're looking at a 2 sell, 8 neutral, 18 buy, oscillators, 1 sell, 7 neutral, and 3 buy. And I know some people think I'm crazy. I've made this statement before. I still believe that in the longer term, in terms of percentage gains, Ethereum most likely in 2021 is going to outperform in terms of percentage gains Bitcoins. That's just my thought. I know some people think differently upon that, but I think ETH still has a lot of room to run, in my opinion. Okay, so that's going to be Ethereum. Keep an eye on those levels. Next one we'll get into is Litecoin at 115. Take a look at this. Really strong move for Litecoin. So Litecoin on the 4-hour time frame, the next area we're going to look at for overhead resistance is $120. Then it'd be up around 125. Then we'd even go up to around that 142. There's a lot of gaps and a lot of area for Litecoin to move to the upside because we drop so hard and so fast on the backside. Many times you make it up. But you can see Litecoin's basically been so bullish that we really didn't have much of a retracement. We just consolidated sideways, and now we've got that next kick to the upside. In terms of support, we'll turn this green here. We want to stay up above for Litecoin, roughly 101.69, and I'll call it $100 psychologically. That's the area we want to stay up above right now for Litecoin. If we do drop below that, it'd be down around $91.48. That was the previous resistance that we broke up through. We'd want to hold it as support. But this is some heavy volume. You can see that's heavier volume than a lot of the other coins right now for Litecoin. The technicals, we have a 3 sell, 7 neutral, 18 buy. Oscillators, we have a 3 sell, 6 neutral, and a 2 buy. RSI right now is at 73. So I want to point that out to you guys. We still could have some more room. Last time we got up to roughly about 85 on the 4-hour time frame before we started cooling down a little bit there. But this is what happens sometimes. These pumps, they're so aggressive. You pump and then you basically just move sideways for a day or two and then you end up moving again. So always be aware of those areas. Put some alerts, some alarms in. I think that'll really help you. Next one I wanted to check out was XRP. With XRP, we've had a nice move here. We ended up going as low as 43 cents, and then we got up to around that 65 cents, and right now what we're trying to hold is 55 cents. So if we're able to hold 55, we need to get back up above 60. And then you can see I have an alert and alarm up here at around 64.067, and then be up to around that $67. But what was crazy about XRP here, guys, when the moves come in, it's heavy volume. Typically, it's institutional investors who really push XRP hard. And you can see right here, we went up about 50%. And that was from December 16th to the 17th. I mean, guys, that's how aggressive these moves are. I mean, really, take a look at that. That's insane. And then the drop to the downside, these are things I always like to do. So from our high of around 78 to what we ended up going down to, a 44% drop. So that's why I've talked about. I like trading this market because these swings are so aggressive. When you're looking at, 20, 30, 40%, guys, that's a big deal. And for me, I want to be able to lock in profits and look for good buying opportunities. And that's the way I like to trade this market. So right now the RSI is at 60, so we do have plenty of room. If we can get up above that 60 cents, turn that into support, we really could be rocking here. If we get into the technicals for XRP, we are looking at a 2 sell, 9 neutral, 17 buy, and this on the 1-day time frame there. Oscillators, 1 sell, 8 neutral, and a 2 buy. Remember, the price action that we're looking at here is on the 4-hour time frame. And I'm looking at that so I can get a little bit more detail for us. Okay, Bitcoin Cash, 321, looking good. Zcash, 75. Link's at, let's see, 1373. We have Dash at 110 right now. We'll take a look at Link. Link on the 4-hour time frame, we need to get up above $14.06 as overhead resistance, and it'll be up to around that $14.68 are going to be our overhead resistance areas. We're up above our 20, our 50, 100, and 200 on the 4 hours, so that's a nice little thing there. In terms of support, let's try to hold roughly $13.46. That's where I would put my alerts and alarms on right now, but I would still anticipate if we can get some buying pressure here, maybe getting up through that $14.06. But like we talked about, it's going to take buying pressure. Okay, RSI at 59 right now. If we get into the technicals for Link, take a look here. So on the 1 day, we have a 1 sell, 9 neutral, 18 buy, oscillator, 0 sell, 8 neutral, and a 3 buy. So looking really good right there. We just want to continue this momentum to the upside here and try to break through that 1406, and then 1468 is going to be the key with heavy buying pressure. Okay, so that's going to be Link. Let's take a look here, see if there's any other ones. Theta's up at 92 cents right now. Got a really strong move. We're talking about the rounding bottom that was being put in right here. And we have got that blast up through my resistance area of 78 cents. So the important thing is to turn that into support now. If we turn that green, we would want to continue to hold that as support for Theta. RSI right now is at 67 on the 4-hour time frame. We are having a little bit of negative divergence there, so I just want you to be aware of that. But overall, we got a really nice move going here for Theta. Makers at 571. DigiByte. Let's take a look at Digi here on the 4-hour time frame. I know a lot of people gave me thumbs up and wrote down in the comments section that they are here for DigiByte, so I want to do the best I can for you. On the 4-hour time frame, starting to get some nice little golden crosses here. Moving averages, the lower time frames crossing up through the higher, so we want to keep an eye on that. In terms of support, I'd like for us to stay up above 0.02160. That's going to be the spot. Overhead resistance, we need to crack 0.02360 and then be up to around that 0.02470. We haven't had a ton of heavy buy pressure in this area, so that's what I would be aware of as we're making this move to the upside here. It's going to need to come on heavy buying pressure, or it's not really going to go anywhere. So just be aware of that. On the 1-day time frame, we're looking at a 3 sell, 9 neutral, 16 buy, oscillator, 0 sell, 8 neutral, and the 3 buy is what we have there. So I don't want to make this too long, guys. Just want to put that out there for you. God bless each and every one of you. Take care, my friends.